covering the community, the people, events, and issues of Georgia, Carolina. This is the Means Report. Now, from the studios of WJBF News Channel 6 in Television Park in downtown Augusta, here's Brad Means.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Means Report. So happy to have you with us. The sun is shining. The weather has turned most spring-like in the CSRA, and we're in a good mood here at the Means Report, a mood that makes us want to bring you an outstanding broadcast on this Sunday, and we have some wonderful segments lined up for you today. Mayor Deke Copenhaver is here, as he is every quarter, to tell us what's going on in the Garden City, to give us his takes on some of the headlines, many of them controversial, that have been hitting lately. We'll hear what Deke Copenhaver has to say about the direction the Garden City is headed. Also coming up a little bit later, Jeff Fairman with financial advice. You know, the new year is well underway. Tax season is upon us. Jeff Fairman with advice to help you manage your money in 2011 and beyond. But first, a lady who needs no introduction. You'll remember her serving as an evening news anchor for more than a decade in the CSRA, only to be so profoundly impacted by a news story that she did that she switched careers and went from reading the news to helping our wounded warriors and overseeing the Wounded Warrior Care Project of the CSRA, helping those veterans come home from Iraq and Afghanistan, navigate the system, whether it's rehabilitation, recuperation, and now housing, and making sure that they re-entered society as smoothly as possible. She's put Augusta, Georgia on the international map when it comes to those things. And we're happy to have Lori Ott with us today. Lori, welcome to the WJBF set. This is odd.
It is a little strange.
Yeah.
I have to wonder what my friends over across the river are thinking right now.
I know. Somewhere Richard is in his Sunday afternoon easy chair going, what? But we're grateful for your role that you play on behalf of our veterans and for coming here to talk about it.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, and we're so excited because the CSRA Wounded Warrior Care Project has really developed and built a community-based model for harnessing all these wonderful resources, whether it's federal, state, or local, so that the system is navigable and so that our wounded warriors and our service members in transition and their families can actually access and use these wonderful resources that are out there but are oftentimes difficult to locate or are just unknown to them. So what we've developed is this community-based model for harnessing all these resources, and it's a model that's caught the attention of folks like the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, the Vice Chief of Staff of the Army, and other folks in Washington as something that should be copied across the country. So we're really excited about what Augusta has been able to accomplish.
It's a huge deal, and you notice the gentlemen on either side of us. We have Mike Dickerson and John Bowen. These gentlemen are Vietnam veterans. They're with the 319th Transportation Company of Vietnam Veterans. They played a huge role in that war, resupplying our troops many times under heavy fire. We're grateful for your service, first of all. And as Lori was mentioning, and as we prepare to talk about a big event in just a moment, an event that will let you help our wounded warriors, let me ask you, Mike, first of all, about the role you all play in welcoming these troops back. Just as Lori's agency helps them navigate the system, you all help them make that transition. Why is that so important to you, and how does it kind of connect with what happened to you decades ago?
We came back to Augusta as a unit to our family and friends. We came back a different way as a Vietnam veteran than many Vietnam veterans. We came back to open arms and hugs and kisses. These guys, we want to extend this to them. They come back a different way. We know that Augusta is a good place to live. We want them to be welcome here. The VA in Fort Gordon is doing a wonderful job for them, and we just want to extend this to them.
Well, let me ask you this, John. What's it like when you're finished fighting those battles and you're back in society? Take us through the mind of a warrior, especially a wounded warrior who's dealing with his or her injuries and then has to figure out, oh yeah, I need to get a life now too, post-military.
Well, you know, being in the reserves, we left Augusta in 1968. All of us were either accountants, lawyers, electricians, carpenters. So when we left these jobs, and in 4 months' time, we was in combat. So it's a different feeling altogether. But coming home, we stayed together the whole time over there as a unit. We sort of supported one another and just stayed together, and it was real tight. So when we came home, we've been staying together for the last 40 years. And we've got a lot to give to these wounded warriors. We can understand what they went through. We can understand when bullets are flying over your head. We can understand if you hit a mine, we can understand what their thoughts are, and we try to sort of make them at ease. So this dinner that night, it's like they're sitting in their own living room and just talking to us. We understand we understand what they're going through.
It's
So-
going to be special to see our new veterans interact with our older ones and help go through that transition. All right, we mentioned the April 21st dinner, Laurie. This is an opportunity really for the first time to see a partnership between the Wounded Warrior Care Project and Habitat for Humanity. Tell us what we hope to do through that effort, that team effort.
We're really excited about this because it's really an effort involving the 319th Transportation Company, Vietnam Veterans, the CSRA Wounded Warrior Care Project, and Habitat for Humanity in developing a model program that we hope will be able to move forward and do many, many times over, but to develop permanent housing, homes, for our wounded warriors. So those folks who may not qualify for other programs housing, who may not be wounded enough or wounded too little for other housing programs, there's a large population of soldiers out in the Warrior Transition Battalion out on Fort Gordon who would like to move to Augusta. So many reasons why, and I know the mayor is in the studio now, but he can tell you the same exact things that we're going to tell you right now. The low cost of housing in Augusta, the excellent medical care facilities, Eisenhower Army Medical Center, Charlie Norwood VA. This is really a wonderful place to call home. So as we become a larger and more well-known center for care for wounded warriors, it just makes sense that more wounded warriors want to call Augusta home. So we want to make sure that we have the housing in place so these folks who want to move here can actually do so. We're excited to work with Habitat. To our knowledge, it's the first time Habitat for Humanity nationally has ever worked with a program like ours and with the 319th Transportation Company Vietnam Veterans. And as we develop this model, we'll be putting all the proceeds from this event into this permanent housing model.
Boy, it's going to be incredible. And, you know, the CSRA Wounded Warrior Care Project already, as Laurie mentioned, helps the families and the veterans themselves, helps them as they continue to get better, helps them find employment if need be. It's all about stability so that going forward, they have a stable base from which to work. Mike, throw in housing, and how big a plus is that to these men and women as they get readjusted?
They will begin to love Augusta the way the residents love Augusta. There's so much here in Augusta for them. They already see what Augusta is offering for them, the friendship, the open arms. They're seeing this and they want to stay here for many reasons.
In your talks, John, with veterans of today, the kids, do you have a connection when you start talking about your service, even though we're talking about two different wars, even though we're talking about two different eras completely? Back then, not as much support for the military. Right now, huge support for the military. Can you make a connection?
Well, the connection is when you're in harm's way, a bullet is a bullet. So when it's flying over your head at 68, it's the same thing flying over your head and the 2000 right now. So that's the connection right there. We do understand what they went through, although as they have a worse condition in the way of mines today. The IEDs are much stronger than the mines that we ran over. We ran over a couple mines. In fact, I ran over one, blew a truck right out from under us, but we did not, fortunately, get hurt. But when they run over a mine, it pretty much maims them or kills them. So that's the difference right there.
Laurie, a man who helped today's generation connect with Vietnam veterans was Lieutenant Dan, because people saw him on the silver screen and the character that Gary Sinise played and sort of got a taste of that era. Now Lieutenant Dan is coming here. Tell us about his presence at that dinner.
We are very excited. Mr. Gary Sinise, who folks do know very well as Lieutenant Dan from the movie Forrest Gump, is coming to Augusta April 21st, and he's going to come to the active duty rehab unit first. He's going to meet with and have lunch with the wounded warriors who come from all over the United States, the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, who are in our active duty rehab unit. He's going to see this unique, one-of-a-kind facility at the Charlie Norwood VA, and then he's going to go out to Fort Gordon and meet with the wounded warriors out there in the Warrior Transition Battalion, and then he's going to spend an evening with the 319th Transportation Company Vietnam veterans at this event on the evening of the 21st, and it's going to be an evening with wounded warriors and Gary Sinise. And Mr. Sinise is taking his personal time to come to Augusta to learn about the active duty rehab unit and to learn about what Augusta is doing to ensure that our wounded warriors thrive and that their families thrive. And we are so excited. It's also an opportunity for folks who have met Tom Morrissey, Master Sergeant Tom Morrissey. He's a Special Forces soldier who was in Augusta for 35 months, who was supposed to have his arm amputated at a different medical facility, who got lucky And this is just, it's one of those stories. At the last minute, he was diverted to Eisenhower Army Medical Center. And that last minute diversion ended up saving his limbs. Master Sergeant Tom Morrissey spent 35 months total here in Augusta, in and out of the active duty rehab unit. A very talented hand surgeon in the Army named Colonel Paul Cutting was his surgeon. And Tom Morrissey is coming back from Chicago for this event. And it's actually Tom Morrissey who saw Gary Sinise at an event in Chicago and said, Mr. Sinise, you have got to come to Augusta because this unit is incredible, and you've got to see this incredible Wounded Warrior Care mission underway in Augusta, and that is why Gary Sinise is coming. And we're so fortunate that Tom Morrissey is coming back. We feel like, and Tom feels like, this is his second home. We feel so connected to Tom Morrissey and feel so grateful for everything he has done to communicate what makes Augusta special, not only with the Fisher House campaign that Tom did so many great community talks about,
Sure did.
but also that Tom would come back and be here and help us with this event. So Gary Sinise and Tom Morrissey, you pick which one you like better.
Oh, it's going to be a special evening for sure. We're going to tell you how you can help support this effort, how you can help get that first house built and then go from there in a great direction. But first, I want to thank you, Mike Dickerson, for your presence today, your service to this nation. Same for you, John Bowen. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for continuing to stay active and helping our veterans come home. We appreciate you. And Laurie, I can't let you go without thanking you, first of all, for what you've done for our wounded warriors through the CSRA Wounded Warrior Care Project, but for what you're about to do for University Hospitals Healthcare Foundation and the patients who need those funds to do well and to help their families. Laurie is transitioning right now. Stopped by the Means Report really on the actual transition day, and I congratulate you for that and thank you for what you've done.
You know, the message about Augusta is we are a special community. We have so many centers of excellence, and what makes Augusta special is our ability to care about and for each other. Whether it's wounded warriors or patients with cancer, we're able to do things in Augusta in a really innovative way, and the name of the game is collaboration and partnership, and I'm excited because our community is a great place to live. More people need to know about it, and more people need to be educated and informed about, you know, what good is going on in Augusta.
That's so true. Mike, last word.
I want to thank our sponsors. She's talking about what a great community we have. These are local sponsors that helping us put this on. Georgia Bank and Trust, Pollock Company, Johnson Motor Company, and of course Windsor Jeweler. Donnie Thompson has helped giving us his location that night to have this dinner at. I mean, we got a wonderful community here.
We have a great community. Thank you so much for your presence today. We appreciate it. We need your support, though. You can do it one of two ways: by calling the Wounded Warrior Care Project at the CSRA's telephone number, which is 706-434-1707, or you can go to the website projectaugusta.org. You see it on your television screen there, projectaugusta.org. The CSRA Wounded Warrior Care Project will guide you through the process so we can build that house. When we come back, Augusta Mayor Deke Copenhaver talking about what's going on in the Garden City and what we can expect as 2011 continues to unfold as the Means Report continues.